one thing that I quite like is how players are running a lot of hand traps at the moment, and again, just having big monsters you can summon, they all replace themselves. They put a lot of pressure on your opponent with just one card. You don't need to do a lot. So if your Fenrir, for example, gets negated, you're not really too unhappy about that, right? It's taking a card out of your opponent's hands.
Well, Robert is going first here, has Imperm in response to the Snake Eye Ash, but we're just going to Bonfire for the Poplar regardless, so it feels a bit rough here, because you can essentially just do the exact same thing you were going to do anyway, as we add Poplar, reveal with the hand effect to special summon. That's going to get you the Sinful Spoils or the Divine Temple, which is a great way to keep pushing through Nibiru. And that's going to be Ghost Mourner as well here, okay.
Does change the line a bit slightly, being hit by infinite impermanence, because the usual line, if you didn't get hit by impermanence, would be to search the field spell and then use that Ash effect, but you can't use the Ash effect after impermanence, even if you have the Bonfire to get the search that was going to sort of replace the missing search from Ash.
Yeah, you'd really need like Wanted to keep playing here, but as you mentioned, the Imperm is really clutch because it stops the second effect of Ash from working as well here, so it is going to go into the Link Kuriboh. And does choose to place it in the spell and trap zone. But yeah, you can't really keep going here. As you use the Snake Eye Ash to send itself, to Link Summon into an SP.
Is that going to be the end of the turn, maybe? An SP?
Yeah, it's not ideal, but it's all you can really do if you don't draw the Wanted or Diabell Star once both of these Snake Eye monsters have been stopped.
Yeah, SP just does so little against Kashtira monsters, right? Because they're all just bigger than it. You just summon one, attack. Or even if the SP gets like forced out, then it clears the field for another Kashtira monster to come into play.
All right, well, Michael is going to begin with a Fenrir. That's one of the strongest cards you can have in this format in general. Oh, going for a normal summon Ghost Bell, trying to do a Synchro Summon. And does indeed go for the Baron the Floor. Yeah, there it is. Maybe we've got like a Birth in hand to be able to keep pushing. Our normal summon has been used, but we can bring back the Fenrir.
Yeah, this feels a little bit risky maybe, because obviously the idea is that Baron de Fleur is going to negate the SP. But then if there's an Effect Veiler or an Imperial or something, you're not going to have any protection against that.
Yeah, that's a bit awkward, I suppose, but I think it's good enough here. I mean, a Theosis as well would be really crazy, and I think Robert is just deciding if he has anything to stop before the entering of the battle phase here. Nope, doesn't look like it. SP is going to get run over. Take some damage here as well from the Fenrir, and also notably, Fenrir banishing the Poplar face down is going to be a little bit important because we don't have the kind of free fodder to be able to send with any kind of follow-up Snake Eye, for example, but it looks like that is all she wrote here for Michael's turn. No back crow, it looks like, just doing some good old damage, and oh no, there's more. Okay, we've got Rise Hard in the hand here, special summoning itself and banishing from the deck. It's going to set up Unicorn potentially as well as nice follow-up. Actually goes for Birth here. Okay, interesting. Then you also get to hit 3 cards off the top of your opponent's deck randomly.
Oh, I hate it when my opponent does that to me. I'm always just, don't get the cards that I need in my deck, please.
Lots of engine requirements that you could potentially run into, so sometimes you can get a little bit lucky in that regard, but it is level 7 now, so we can go for an Xyz play. And what are we going to see here?
I'm a bit confused how that SP just, never got activated.
Yeah, it's a bit strange because there was some opportune times here. Michael could have played around it just by going straight to the battle phase with the Fenrir, for example, but we've got the Gradial, I believe her name is. Yeah,
we were just looking this up before. It's like a DD Crow on legs.
Yeah, you can attach things from your opponent's graveyard, which is going to prevent any kind of follow-up, like, for example, an Oak, which Robert does actually have in his hand here. But also, has a little bit of utility in the long game. You can steal things like the Princess, but actually opts to go for the Kuriboh here instead.
That's quite fun, that you detach a material, but then you replace the material that you just detached, so you're never going to run out of materials on it.
Yeah, that's very true. So Robert does have a 1-for-1 picked up here, so that's a nice little extending play, potentially into another Ash if necessary. And just trying to decide what the best way to sequence is this, because we do have a Baron to contend with, and of course the attaching from the graveyard. that Gradiel can do as a quick effect.
Yeah, we're not going to have any Kashtira monsters to trigger this birth, which is a little sad, but I think Michael's feeling A-okay at the moment.
Yeah, any spell and trap that gets activated as well is going to trigger the birth to banish face down, which is also pretty powerful. Deleting the graveyard can be pretty strong into Snake Eye in its own right. So,
Well, you need a Kashtira monster for that.
oh, you have to control one. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, the continuous birth is just such a good grind game tool, allowing you to bring back things like Fenrir and keep, that resource loop going. Ad infinitum, as this Poplar is negated by Baron and chooses not to use the scaling. We're going to go 1-for-1 pitch Flamberge.
Oh, that's really powerful. Does Flamberge... I think can you not chain to attach the Flamberge, and that would prevent it from activating?
So I believe Flamberge has to special summon exactly 2.
Oh, so that will do the trick either way.
I think so. So it means that even if you attach one of them, it won't get the second summon. I guess we'll find out here as we use the Gradiel here in response to probably Chainlink 1, Ash Chainlink 2, Flamberge being discarded. Yeah, that's what I think Michael is debating here, checking the grave. The Gradiel is going to activate. We don't want to put the Link Karibo back into the opponent's grave either. We still have another, we still have the Rise Heart underneath it to be able to do that. Attaching the Poplar here. Oh, okay. Puts back the Link Karibo. Interesting.
What else is underneath it? Rise Heart?
Yep.
Does it have some like protection effect based off what attributes it has under it? Or something
Might be
like
relevant. Yeah, it could be. Might need a main deck monster or something. I doubt that though. But here we go with the Snake Eye Ash resolving. That's going to be Poplar. Oh, so I guess Robert must be playing 3 Poplar, right?
Oh, maybe. Maybe that's the third one, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Sometimes players are opting to play just 2 copies, but the third one here is actually going to be super relevant as we bring out Poplar back from the... as we get to add it and then special summon it. It's going to give us a little bit more extension plays here. Baron has, of course, used the effect already, so Michael might need to try and see if there's any other disruption from the hand.
Have we used the normal summon?
Our normal summon? Yeah, we normal summon Poplar.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, so the Snake Eye Ash will be sending the Poplar that has placed itself. That's going to get you Flamberge. And Flamberge is...
It's a little less intimidating.
So because we activated the Gradiel, I'm realizing, it means that Robert must not have activated the Flamberge, right?
No, he did activate it, surely.
Okay.
Well, I don't know why.
But we
else he
attached
would
the
use
Link Karibo instead of one of the targets.
No, we attached Link Karibo last time. I think actually the reason he's left the Rise Heart under the Gradiel is pretty sweet actually, because it stops Heater from coming down.
Ah, that's really interesting. Yeah, preventing the Link climbing. So that's actually really strong.
Yeah, it's really important to keep a fire monster out of your own graveyard.
Let's see here, Robert is thumbing through, trying to decide where we extend from here.
Can I at least put away the Baron, or maybe... Oh, so the Gradiel's going to go to the Spell and Trap card zone anyway.
Yeah, now we have a fire there as well, so we can keep extending with Hita if we'd like.
It's going to allow us to access Princess too.
Yeah, and that's really important. Once you get that Princess into circulation, it's really, really strong. Wondering what we're going to do about this Baron, because we still need to try and eliminate it, but also like the Birth is going to be really strong follow-up, so Robert has a bit of a task ahead of him, trying to deal with 2 monsters as well as the potential recursion from Michael. So we'll see if he can coordinate this in such a way that he can set himself up for a strong turn 5 of Michael as we link away, and we are indeed going to go for that Hita. The Charmers have just been like so strong over the years, and especially in this format, Hita hitting are able to bring out lots of different fire monsters. Most notably, Ash Blossom is one of the most popular targets, for example.
Yeah, I mean, Hita recently has just been an unbelievable card. Allowing you just any 2 monsters getting that reborn summon from your opponent's graveyard. There's almost always a fire monster, as you said, with Ash Blossom, or in this case, Kashtira Rise Heart. But there are so many like mirror matches between Snake Eye and... Yeah, it's a very clutch card.
All right, we do have a Princess here, and now Robert is just deciding what we're going to bring out from our graveyard. It's a very, very sort of delicate point in the duel here, because this is going to be the make or break if we can actually prevent the clapback of Michael here. We're not going to be ending the duel with an OTK, but trying to put up enough so that we can actually prevent that follow-up here is going to be super important.
Yeah, we need to answer this Baron and the Birth and hope nothing else appears from Michael's hand the next turn. Feels like a heavy ask for what's currently in play.
Yeah, I think he's debating on going for the Phoenix into Zalantis potentially. Although Zalantis is a little bit dangerous because it can actually reset the Baron. So has to keep that in mind.
How big is Phoenix? 3,000?
2-8, I think.
Oh, that's tiny.
All right, so like it's awkward, right? Because we can OTK, but I just don't know if it's possible through the Baron, right? Because correct me if I'm wrong, Baron is once while it's on the field.
Yeah, but doesn't it get set?
Oh yeah, of course you just set it. No, wow, this is actually going to be game, right?
Well, no, because you need a fire. You need something.
Oh,
to
he needs the
destroy.
fire to be able to trigger the princess. Yeah, okay, so attacking over the Baron here. And yeah, just passes turn. Yeah, so we didn't have a way to trigger the princess to go for the OTK there.
But that's just not going to cut it, is it? Because
yeah,
Birth is still there.
That's what I'm worried about. Oh, wow, yeah, and we're actually just going to pick up here as Robert realized. All right, so I was going to note that Robert actually has very little in the way of going first cards. So there's sometimes like situations where, against specifically Kashtira, it's sometimes better to go second. But it looks like we haven't actually done that. No, Robert is obviously going to just choose to go first. And Imperm also being met here, that's pretty strong.
Oh, is that an Oak in hand? That hand is not what you want to see, because there's an Oak, a Talents, and another Dibble Star. Is that it? That doesn't seem like, yeah, it doesn't seem like much.
And the Ash comes down as well here. That's huge.
Well, at
Ash
least
Imperm.
you can play Talents now, but it doesn't make you feel good. But
what do you do with Talents?
You Talents
wow.
your opponent's
oh,
hand?
No. That's, you're just in a really bad spot, right? You got Prosperity and the Unicorn. Like
I'm just shocked that you Talents your opponent's hand in that situation.
I think maybe Robert was feeling like the best thing for him to do was to try maybe like brick his opponent from being able to play, and then he can clap back with a one-card combo.
Yeah, but that means your opponent, like, that's a lot of cards your opponent's got. They're going to have 4.
Yeah, still 4.
Then you have to hope that...
Do we just have 1 left on Robert's side?
Yeah, it's...
I guess you have to ask yourself, right, if you draw with Talents, like, what do you draw in this situation, right? Because you've already used your normal summon.
Yeah, I suppose it'd have to be, like, exactly
Maybe
Bonfire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or, I guess, Field Spell plus...
Well, in
something.
hindsight, I suppose it was better to just draw and try and dig for something here. But we've got 6 for the Prosperity, and that is a lot of pieces to the puzzle that Michael can just choose to go for here. Actually going for the Field Spell, that's the same as any other name. Plus, you get the added bonus of the little attack increase as well here. And yeah, not looking too good for Robert here. You can tell from that body language he's feeling a bit glum right now.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes games are just over so quickly, and it just doesn't go your way. There's not too much you can do about it if you draw a slightly weaker hand and your opponent has the answers.
All right, well, provided that Michael doesn't do anything drastic here, it is quite simple for Kashtira to put up 8,000 into a full clear field, so we've got the extra, well, not the extra, the tributeless normal summon of Fenrir. Fenrir can add Rise Heart can banish, and then Birth can bring back. Do we play Ogre? You did play Ogre, interesting, okay.
Got to watch out for the Prosperity there, right?
Ah, yeah, of course, the half damage, yeah, you're absolutely correct.
Easy trap to fall into, but I didn't think it's like super relevant because Robert's not got a lot to come back with, so...
Any psychic limiter removals? Not quite.
Well, getting the Ogre allows you to, like, when you attack with Ogre, you can look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck and banish one, so you can kind of choose a little bit what they're going to draw next turn as well.
Yeah, that's actually really important. Does actually go for the Ogre there. Do we play pre-prep as well? Not pre-prep, preparations. Yeah, that's the one.
Well, in the main deck, but perhaps you side it out when you go second.
Yeah, that's also potentially true. All right, that is quite a significant amount of damage on the field here. Remember, of course, Prosperity was activated, so that's going to be half.
So it's not quite 16,000. It's not far off. It's quite a lot.
It is a lot, isn't it?
Because they're all gaining, what, like 400 each? So they're quite big.
Yeah, the field spell's putting in a decent amount of work here. Going to chip away quite a significant amount from the life points of Robert, who is sitting at just a little 1 card in hand.
He's going to lose a card from his extra deck, card from the top of his deck as well.
Zalantis, good choice. Sometimes people go for the princess, but in a situation like this, Zalantis is probably the only card that's really threatening you going second.
Yeah, it can set all of your monsters, which is, you know, Kashtira hates that, so they're just like, get it out.
Reminiscent of Kashtira format. Did we use Ogre on Declaration?
Yeah, I think Robert was kind of picking up his the top card of his deck there, so maybe that's what it was for, yeah.
Yeah, okay, he is indeed doing it. No? Yeah, just double checking how Ogre interacts specifically in the situation.
Yeah, it's not a common effect that gets used. You get to look at the top 5 cards of your opponent's deck. You also, I don't think you actually get to...
No, you don't get to see, yeah, that's the funny thing.
Yeah, your opponent gets to see them, but you don't. Which is a bit complicated, because you need to make sure that the order remains the same. He's going to look at them one at a time.
One at a time, interesting.
Very complicated resolution of a card effect.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen someone resolve Ogre like this. Oh, he's only looked at 3 and he's deciding
He doesn't even need the other 2.
Yeah.
I mean, once you know what your opponent's top card is, that's pretty useful.
So it's almost in the Nibiru range. Do you think you make that 5th summon? Or do you think that last card in hand from Robert is not worth considering?
I don't really see the point of making a 5th summon. Like, your field is threatening enough, isn't it? Your opponent's going to lose another card from their extra deck. You know they're going to draw probably something not very useful because you've seen it, and you've chosen to leave them with it.
It's a long think here on the resolution of this Ogre. I don't know if they're checking something with the judge, but...
Oh,
wait.
The judge has decided that they do get to see it.
Oh, okay. I guess it is public information. All right. I mean...
So Ash, and then... Oh, no. That means you're drawing Poplar for turn, which is not very pretty.
Yes. Poplar for turn.
That's going to trigger all 3 Kashtira monsters. Again, you're going to lose more cards from your deck, more cards from your extra deck, more cards...
From your field.
And more cards from your soul. You know, they're just gone.
We do have Birth as well, which is available to get rid of the grave as well, should any spells come down from the last card in Robert's hand.
Next Kashtira monster is going to remove cards from your side deck in between games.
And then after that, we could remove cards from the binder.
Yeah.
Let's go from there. Is Robert picking up? No? Okay. All right. We're just drawing for turn here, checking the graveyard. And, I mean, it's rough because you just normal summon that Poplar. As you said, you're just triggering a bunch of effects. And it's really hard to see where he's going to go from here.
Yeah, I mean, there's no need to pick up, I guess, because, you know, you might as well play it out. It's the second game.
All right, normal summon Poplar. Poplar going to get a Temple or a... Well, he's looking at Subversion for a second here. I mean, I think you have to go for Original Sin, but, I mean, you can't really use it. It's, okay, going for the Temple. And the Temple's also going to delete the graveyard on activation.
I don't even think there's much of a graveyard to speak of at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's not actually even that relevant with the Birth effect, but, hey, it is there.
You're going to lose, the more cards from the deck.
Okay, we're going to do this again. All right, we're shuffling first, and then we're going to resolve.
Yeah, you can leave
so
your
I
opponent
think
Veil
the
on top.
exact wording of Ogre is that it excavates, which is why it becomes public.
Oh, I see, okay.
Yeah, it's not like, for example, Spiral Drone, which makes it private for you.
Well,
for your
Spiral
opponent.
Drone has to be just for purely thematic reasons. You can't have like a secret spy drone showing your opponent the cards.
Not going for Princess, all right, access code talker.
Just removing all of the win conditions from Robert's extra deck. I can
Didn't
get
use
behind
Fenrir,
that.
by the way, which is interesting. Choosing not to banish the Poplar face down. I feel like you should just like go Poplar face down now.
I think you can do almost anything,
Anything
you want.
you want.
You can save it for a more high value target.
Yeah.
You can use Birth here, might as well. Get rid of that Oak once again.
Yeah, Oak, Bonfire, and what's the other monster? Is it an Ash?
No, that's not a Bonfire, it's the Wanted.
No, the Wanted, okay. You can summon Flamberge if your opponent normals or specials, but I don't think that's... Unless Michael decides to summon a monster for no reason. Even then, I don't think it really matters, because we've got the attack bonus of the field spell, so... Pretty strong as well. There's no way to actually recur anything, because all the names are removed from the graveyard. Flamberge does have to summon exactly, too, so...
Bit of a field spell fight.
What I'm trying to say is that Michael has game in, like, multiple different ways. Quite
He can attack with the ogre, he could attack with the unicorn, you know. All of these are options.
Activating the Poplar to scale itself. Is there really no reason we haven't used Fenrir yet? Oh, wow. Last card in hand's Witch.
I think we can use Fenrir now and just banish the Flamberge, maybe. Not that there's even targets for Flamberge in the grave, I don't think.
No, it's just Poplar at this point. So... It's a bit of a interesting situation. I think Fenrir has to use its effect now. Yep, does go for that Flamberge. Which, I mean... Sure, but it wasn't really threatening anything, right?
We just don't want it to be sent for...
There's even a world where you can even hold Fenrir even longer, right? Because when you go with the when you use the original Sin, special out a monster, I mean, you have to probably use the Ash, or anything you do afterwards can just be hit with Fenrir. Any sort of link plays, if you go into Hita, for example, yeah, Fenrir just proving to be why it's one of the greatest cards of all time.
So this original Sin, it's going to search you, what, an Ash? But have we not used Poplar yet this turn?
No, we haven't used the hand effect of Poplar. We did normal it, yeah.
So we're still actually going to get 4 monsters on the field, which is quite a lot considering all that's happened. But again, with no access code, no Zelantis, how do you...
Yeah, as you mentioned, just picking away those going second win conditions like Zelantis access code, there isn't just like a whole lot that Robert can actually make here. We haven't used Ash's on-field send effect, right?
That's true, yeah, we could get a Flamberge out.
Yeah, and then we do actually have targets now. We've already used Birth, so the graveyard is pretty safe for now. Maybe considering a Link 2 first into Phoenix, potentially.
Oh, Hita, he was just hovering over the Ash Blossom in the grave.
You can get to everything here, actually. Oh, maybe Robert isn't completely out of this one, actually.
But I just don't know. I don't know what the end goal is. You know, you can do a bunch of stuff, but without the access code to end the game, you can make a Baron actually.
Baron is a possibility. Yeah. So I think, like Robert has a couple of tasks ahead. I think we want to use our own Baron to maybe get rid of Birth. And then we can use Flamberge to play something. And then from there, we might be able to clean up a little bit. But even the field spell is actually putting in a lot of work.
Yeah, I was wondering whether you needed to get rid of the field spell with Baron, which sounds really silly. Don't fear, the Dival Star can actually come back if Celine is in the extra deck, which I'm guessing it is.
Well, let's see if it's Celine or... it is indeed Celine. Okay, wow. Okay, Robert making the best of a very, very bad situation here. Don't count him out yet. We're still floating and getting a bunch of materials here. Don't forget that Celine is also a spellcaster summon. We can still get back a Diabell Star here. And that's going to be Baron if necessary. And then from there... I mean, it's funny because like Access Code Talker was like low-key, like the very correct hit from Michael's part. So I think that might have been able to... I don't know if winning the game is the right word, but...
Robert would be powerful, yeah. I mean, you could have, I guess, if you'd taken like the Heater, then the situation wouldn't have occurred. But it's difficult to know in advance, like, how the game's going to play out. And depending on what you take, your opponent could go for something else anyway.
Is it a synchro? It is indeed a synchro. We are going to go for that Baron. And then maybe like SP potentially to remove another card could work.
So I feel like popping the Birth feels important, but the
yeah.
field spell being in play means that the Ogre is still bigger than the Baron.
The thing is, like, if you remove enough attributes from the field, then the Wraithsoft won't actually give you that much.
Yeah, but it's quite tricky to do, because then you need... How do you get all these monsters off the field in the first place?
Well, Riseheart can simply be attacked over. And then you can destroy another one with Baron, but I suppose then the trade-off is that Birth stays, so yeah, it's a bit awkward. I think maybe leaving the Baron to not... So if you don't pop the Birth, you can use the Baron to, like, negate and destroy the Birth instead on the follow-up. So that's one way to out it, and then just hope your opponent doesn't actually draw into, like, more engine, or ways to get to it.
SP maybe?
Yeah, SP can be used here as well to banish something. No direct damage, but I don't think that's going to be really necessary or important. Okay, so SP does get rid of the Birth. That's going to remove the follow-up. Not doing too badly here, Robert, actually.
Yeah, quite a lot is happening considering the situation it looked like Robert was in before. And here we have the Princess.
Princess can bring back Flamberge. And that's a good
what a
amount of damage
turn.
here.
She's
So I think if you go Princess over Rise Heart, and then, okay, I think it should probably double check the attack gain on the Wraith-Soth, because that's actually, weirdly enough, the most important card on the field right now.
it's been destroyed by the Baron, so it's no longer important.
Oh yeah, we banished the Birth, and then we popped the field spell with the Baron,
Yeah.
and now we can clear everything else here. Baron over the Ogre, Flamberge over the Unicorn, and Princess over the Rise Heart with Fenrir in the Scale. And out of nowhere, 2 cards ripped on the extra deck, quite a poor opening from Robert, and it looks like we're back to square one.
I mean, that was amazing turn. It mildly upset me that the Birth is banished and the field spells in the graveyard, because that is definitely the wrong way around. But other than that, like, the turn was beautiful. Like, he's done so much from nowhere.
Yeah, so the reason that you're mentioning that, because it's so important, if we can banish Theosis, then Theosis can recur that Birth.
Yeah, exactly. So
if
if another Rise Heart, for example, came down for Michael, that would allow you to recycle the Birth.
Oh, that's rough. I think you have to Baron negate this.
Yeah, because
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you just wait for, like, the summon of a monster? Because there's nothing that really threatens Baron except being attacked over, I think, right? Or potentially something you hit off of this Prosperity. He's only going for 3, right? That's a Birth, Soul Release. Not useful here. Birth or Unicorn, I think, is an easy negate for Baron. There was nothing we could do with the Princess, I think, right? In way of Link summoning?
well, you could make the Salamangreat,
Make the Pyro Phoenix, then you have a way to trigger it.
but I don't know if you prefer that to just whatever was in play before. So, I mean, either Unicorn or Birth feels like it should be negated. So,
How many cards does Michael have in hand? Is it 2?
2, yeah. So I guess he just needs one of them to do something after the Unicorn, because there's just this one negation. Makes a lot of sense to negate that.
All right, this is huge. Last card in hand. Thrust! That's powerful. Okay, what do we do? Talents draw, maybe?
Terraforming, maybe?
Terraforming into the field spell.
That's got to be it, right? Terraforming, field spell.
Does that do enough, though?
Yeah, you go Fenrir, Rise Heart, get back the Birth.
Fenrir, Rise Heart, Theosis, Birth. Oh, wow. Oh, this is actually an incredible game here. What a back and forth. Last card in hand, Thrust. That's incredible. So if you let the Unicorn resolve, they probably get Birth.
Well, they get
Or Theosis.
You get Theosis, right? And then you just activate Theosis, and you kind of have to negate Theosis at that point.
Oh. Actually going for Talents instead.
You've got to be careful here because the effect you can't draw because of Prosperity, so you have to take.
So he's gonna Talents take Baron. Baron
What's going? You just
destroy.
pop the Princess and then crash. Is that the plan? That can't be.
But then Flamberge just brings back everything.
Yeah, that's a little weird.
Pops the Princess. I mean, there's no way you can just pass here because they get control of the Baron again.
Oh, Typhon?
No, this is definitely incorrect by Michael. It's really unfortunate. I don't think he... unless... He's definitely playing Terraforming, right?
Yeah, but you make Typhon bounce the Flamberge. That's pretty annoying.
That's pretty strong. Yeah, you
But
can do
the
that.
Princess can come back, so... Did he just concede?
Oh, wow, he scoops it up? Oh, no. Wow, Michael actually conceding there. Thrust, not getting Terraforming. All right, that's going to be Prosperity for 6 going off here for game number 3. Who will this be taken by? I mean, this is exciting. Let's see if Robert has drawn that Droll and Lockbird. That's going to be huge here when this Prosperity resolves.
Prosperity means no shifter. which is very important.
So take your pick. If you're Michael here, you've got plenty of options. You've got Go Spell if you need some defensive cards. You've got starters in the shape of Wraithsoth. If you really want to play around Droll, I guess you could maybe get Theosis if you already have a target.
I mean, you never take... You're never activating Prosperity.
There it
Flow.
is,
There's
Droll
the
and
Droll.
Lockbird.
Absolutely clutch.
What did he take, actually?
The
Oh,
field
no,
spell.
set 2! That's that's not good.
Is he running... He is running one different dimension ground.
1 DDG potentially set so that you could get... Oh, Lightning Storm for the 2 back row we've set here. That is incredible.
Is it just going to be double impermanence?
Double Imperm off of this Lightning Storm. Normal Summon Ash, I dare you.
Yeah, there it is.
Oh, no, not like this.
Well, I mean, he earned that second game. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
think, getting the third one in this fashion feels a little, justified.
That is genuinely incredible. I mean, pick your hand. That is a custom draw right there. Lightning Storm for the 2 back row, Droll for the Prosperity. I mean, the thing is, like, what do you even do with that Prosperity? Like I said, I think, like, Theosis is the best target, but that's provided that you actually have an active target for it.
Yeah, I mean, some hands you just can't play around Droll. As you said, it's like hit or miss, and if your opponent has to start with Prosperity into field spell, that's a big hit. But, other times if your opponent starts with a Fenrir, then you feel a bit like, they've already resolved the Fenrir. It feels bad. But in this case, it feels absolutely amazing.
It's just a question of, can we circumvent any other disruption from the hand from Michael, potentially? Do you feel like if there's a world where you have double Imperm, you just don't set them, actually?
Yeah, you're right. I don't see the benefit of
It's
setting
double
them.
Imperm, right? It is.
Yeah, you're not really going to catch any of your opponent's spells and traps. So
I mean, unless you're like putting him in the like pendulum zones and your opponent's on pendulum, that's the only reason I feel like you would ever set double Imperm. Otherwise, like shielding them from any sort of Feather Duster or Lightning Storm, which people are playing, and I think you would probably expect someone to bring that in against you in this matchup. It's not great, actually. Michael has indeed, I think, definitely misstepped there by setting them. Notice that the SP has not used the effect to banish because, well, you wouldn't be able to do any damage this turn, so not being caught out with that restriction.
Also, you can't because you didn't use any...
Well, just on summon, right?
Oh, yeah, but you have to use an extra deck material.
Oh, yeah, true. Ghost Bell comes down on... Was that the Poplar scaling?
Must be the Poplar effect, yeah.
That
Sorry,
work?
no, not the Poplar, the Oak.
Yeah, okay. Oak prevented from reborning more monsters here. All right, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 summons. Okay. I don't think we are playing Nibiru though. It's not really a card. Like I think we discussed this a little bit earlier, right? Nibiru is a bit of a weird card, specifically in Kashtira.
Yeah, I mean having that token or the nib itself, it can be very annoying.
But we are going to use Oak here to bring out another copy of Flamberge and see if we can close this one out potentially.
Yeah, you got to imagine that 8,000 damage doesn't feel like a lot for the Snake Eye deck.
This should just be game, right?
Yeah, bringing back the Flamberge now would be if there was no Nibiru or anything to speak of.
Double Flamberge, 6 plus 2, 7. And that is indeed going to be the end of the game. Wow, incredible.